Hello and welcome to another episode of The Wealth Within Us. Today I have Christine Rothdeutsch with me, and she is a productivity and mindset coach. So who doesn't need a little mindset in their lives? I know I've been working on it for a long time now, and I still need help. So Christine is going to tell us all about herself, and mindset is relatively new for you. So I'm really curious as to how you got into recognizing that mindset needs to be a part of your business.
Well, thank you for having me on the show,
Oh, you're
Michelle. I'm
welcome.
happy to be here and
Happy to have you.
talk about this stuff. Yes, it is new for me. Productivity and details are my background. And many years ago when I decided to start my own business, I was one of those of, I'll figure it out. Yeah, okay, I'll be able to, it didn't happen. And
I think most of us are kind of like that. Yeah.
and then realizing you need some help. So you get a business coach or two or three or more.
Or you take a bunch of courses.
Take courses. Oh, yes. I actually did a mind map this past year of everything. This is a sidebar. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Of everything that I have in my business, access to the tools that I have, programs that I'm in or was in, but still have access to, but everything that makes up my business. I made a mind map of it and I printed it out. And it was
your mind blown.
It was 5 feet of paper on my wall.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder of what you do have access to. And that's part of who I am too now with my productivity. I used to just implement for business owners. I was that technical virtual assistant. And once you're called a virtual assistant, it's really hard to get rid of that moniker. But I always felt there was more to me. I'm always questioning everything. I can't just do work for somebody and not know why. How is this connected with making money? How is this going to affect things, everything? And over the years, I just kept adding to my knowledge from business coaches, learning everything that I should be doing in my business and everybody should be doing in business. I just never was able to get that business that I envisioned and everything. And then last year, I was on a 3-day event and there was a guest speaker, and he was speaking about your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, your thoughts, your feelings. And I was like, there's something to this. It's like, now I had already been reading.
As you're being triggered, like, what?
I had already, started to read some books in this area of that, you can create what you really want and all this stuff and everything. So
I have read.
Yes. And so he was having a masterclass in January, him and his partner. And I went to the masterclass in January. And by the second day, I was like, I think this is what I'm missing. And you, as a VIP person on the masterclass, you got a couple extra 15-minute coaching sessions with one of their coaches. And on this second day, I wasn't feeling particularly joyful. Something had happened the day before, and I, got me a little down and everything. And in 15 minutes on this coaching call, he raised my level of vibration. He had me understanding what I was doing to myself and where I needed to shift.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you sold me. I was like, I really believe by the second day, this was my missing piece. And I jumped in when they made the offer. And I did it for me.
Of course.
I went into learning about this NLP stuff, somatic coaching. I am a certified hypnotherapist.
That's so fascinating. I've done some hypnotherapy, and we've had a hypnotherapist on if you want to check out that episode.
Yes, that is fascinating. I also have trained in Reiki, although that one really eludes me yet. But I did it for me.
Yeah.
So I knew I needed to do the work for myself. And then over the months, as I'm learning this stuff, and they talked about the certifications I was going to have, I'm like, excuse me, certifications. Okay, I'll take them.
Yes, I'll put them on my wall. Nobody ever asks for them. So it's like, I always kind of wonder, but anyway.
Yeah, true. I actually did frame them. They're sitting over there
I
out of
would
camera
too,
view.
but it is odd. Like no one ever asks for them. They just kind of like, they get to know, like, and trust you. And they're like, yeah, okay, let's work together. It's all good.
But over the years, people would ask me along the way, am I Infusionsoft certified? I'm like, yeah, no. Am I, ClickFunnels certified? Yeah, no. I didn't feel that it held much weight. Like it didn't much matter. But when it came to this, I was like, wow, this is I'm an NLP certified therapist. Yeah. It's like I say, certified hypnotherapist. And it really is changing me. And I went into this whole thing, the doubting Thomas. Okay. Because all this mind work. And in the past, it
sounds like it was a little newer for you too. So that kind of hadn't been maybe necessarily on your radar.
Yeah, exactly. I had always looked at this stuff over the years. Yeah, no, that's not me. Yeah, no, just teach me business. I'll be fine. Yeah, just teach me what I have to do in business. It'll work one day. It's like, yeah, no, it's not working. So, but I still was that really new one coming in to this whole world. A lot of the people that take their trainings are already in that world in some degree and get a lot of what they like. The trainers even say, look, what we're going to train you in, you might have heard it in a different way, but just put that aside and listen to what we're, talking about here and take it in the way we train it. And I was like, okay, I'm a blank slate. I got nothing. But one of my earliest experiences with all of this was just a few months in. I was given one part of the program. It's like, all right, you get an individual trauma release session with a coach. And it's, not saying you had a huge trauma in your life. There's something going on or things. So this is like a 3 hour.
And I think we don't realize that we all have traumas, no matter how big or small that they are. They still affect our path going forward.
Right. That's what we don't realize, that those things that happened when we were just babies even. Yeah. I mean, I came to realize I'm the youngest of 7 children.
Okay.
By the time my mother was pregnant with me, she really wasn't too happy.
Like, oh, another one.
Well, because she became pregnant with me just a few months after my sister, who's 13 months older than me, was born.
Oh, okay.
So it was
pretty
even
quick. Pretty quick.
Yeah. But I never really thought about that before. But I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe I took on a little bit of my mother's unhappiness.
Yeah. And when you get into this type of work, a lot of it is the emotional. And I've been kind of down this path for quite a while, but we can absorb it from other people. We can inherit it. So it can come from different places. It doesn't have to necessarily even be our own experience. But sometimes these inherited things, or how your mother was feeling when she was pregnant, those kinds of things can be absorbed into our sort of emotional fields.
Well, and as I'm learning to, and I've really accepted that everything is energy.
Yes.
We are all energy. Everything is energy, and just breaking each part down into a really understanding how the collective consciousness works. And when you can get that deep, that's when the magic really happens. But getting back to this trauma release. So here I am, the doubting Thomas, sitting on Zoom with my coach. We're at the release part of the whole session of doing timeline therapy, meaning a little bit of meditation and relaxation. Okay, now imagine your timeline. Which way is the future? Which way is the past? Now I want you to float above your timeline. Now I had already been through like a group session like this and everything. So I was kind of familiar with it, but I'm like, yeah, been there, done that. It's
a lot more powerful when you're by yourself, because you're sharing the collectiveness of everybody else. So it's hard to zone in, because you're picking up, whether you realize it or not, other people's stuff. And you're like, is that mine? Maybe it is. Maybe it's the person next to me. I don't know.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, because I never even really thought about it that way.
Yeah, I was totally just like, do, because you're open, and it's like walking into a room and all of a sudden you're like, something must have happened right before, and you don't know, but you can feel it. So so we're all kind of like, I think that term where we wear our emotions on our sleeves, we literally kind of do, because people can pick up on them unless you're very good at hiding them, which I used to be, but I let go of a lot of that stuff.
Very good. Right. So I'm like, I'm floating above my timeline. Yeah. And in the back of my mind, like, yeah, right. Like, this is going to work. Yeah, sure. Going through my mind. I got so sick. All of a sudden, horrible feeling in my stomach. I just wanted to lay down. I just like, please, Nathan, please. I just got to lay down. Please. It's like, once you start this timeline therapy, you got to complete the whole process. Everything's like, okay. I'm hanging. Yeah. Okay. Take a deep breath, open the window. Cause it was March. It was cold outside. We'll let some cold air in. So we finished the session. It was like, I want to say like 6 o'clock at night, turned my computer off, went straight to bed.
Wow. So
I could not move. I felt so tired. I woke up the next morning. I still wasn't right, but I could get up. And it wasn't until halfway through the day, I went, I know what it is. Motion sickness. I gave myself motion sickness on Zoom. And then I was like, oh my God, I feel terrible, but this is awesome. Another one of those moments of like,
where you're like, oh, now I can let that go. I'm good now. We don't like, it's like we don't know what's there until we search. And we can't search in the midst of chaos. It's only when we meditate or work one-on-one or in small groups that we can really get down to these deep layers.
Yeah. So like I say, I felt terrible, but now I laugh about it and I'm proud of it because I did that to myself. And if I can do that, I can do a lot more.
And you need to forgive yourself too. That's the big component of that. Yes, I did that to myself, and I forgive myself. Sometimes I forget about that.
Yeah, but I sent my coach I sent my coach an email saying, "Don't worry about me. I figured it out. It was motion sickness. I'm great. Thank you so much." But like I came into this like wondering like, oh, how much am I going to get out of it? But I've seen some neat things happen around me.
I think the key is to being open, because when you're open, you're allowing anything to come in. But if you come in really closed, and sometimes we think we're closed, but we're not. But it's only when you're I think super closed that those people kind of don't really see change. It's almost like the placebo effect, if you really think about it. If you really, really want the change, it's going to happen. But if you totally don't believe in it and you're stubborn, it doesn't matter if you get the placebo or the real deal, it's not going to work. So I kind of think that that's the way it goes either way.
Yeah. And I think when you think about some things that happen in life, I mean, why is it you can drink a couple glasses of wine one time and you're perfectly fine. Another time you can have the same couple glasses of wine, but like it really hits you quicker.
Yeah.
Because of where you're at emotionally.
Where you're at emotionally, and I think, did you eat that day? Did you
that too?
Are you stressed out? There's like what's going on? Like you said, well, it's like when you crave something, and then either you kill it or you have a bad experience. And you're like, oh, I can't even the thought of eating that thing again because of maybe a bad experience with it that you used to love it, and then you had a bad experience, and now you're like, oh, I can't even think of eating that thing.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and it's all our mind. Like we're creating these realities and whatever in our head.
Well, that was even part of, I think it was the hypnotherapy training? I forget which piece of the training. There's been so many where we were supposed to go through this process to have us hate something that we wanted to give up. Like they brought up like wine. Okay, you want to give up wine, and we were like, no, we don't want to give up. Yeah. No, it's like, okay, you can get it back again, but for this demonstration, all right, pick something like that. And then pick something that you've eaten in the past that you absolutely hated. Like you would like, and the example was the one trainer, Carson. He had at some time in his life picked up a can of soda. He thought it was a can of soda, and somebody had been using it as an ashtray.
Oh.
So he had that taste in his mouth, and that's what he used to help him to stop drinking, I don't know, Cokes or something like that, But so he was programmed then to think if he had that thought, it'd bring that up, like, oh God, I am not eating that. But that was one of the trainings that we went through of how to program your brain.
Or reprogram it.
Reprogram. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's all and I always thought this is the brain you have. And that comes from when my daughter was little. When my daughter was 3 months old, she got meningitis, and it took away most of her hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And we were told that she needed to go into therapy, speech and hearing therapy.
Okay.
She was a baby. And I was like, what? Like, why should we put her in therapy? She's a baby. Like, well, no, the brain is forming, and you need to feed it the sounds, the voices, the words, and everything. And one day she will start talking. So that's why I'm thinking, well, then your brain is what it is. But now I'm learning that you can change.
You can. Have you ever read Napoleon Hill?
Yes. Yeah.
That was his son. Remember his son? He had, I think, no ears, or something was deformed with his ears, and he couldn't hear. And he would say to him, and go where his ears were, and be like, you can totally hear. You can hear all these things fine. And he grew up hearing. Like it is just that power of, it is kind of that we are creating our own world and our own universe and our own reality. And even the obstacles, it just goes to show that even the obstacles that are put in front of us, how we can overcome them if we focus on it and we truly desire to overcome them.
Well, and that's the thing. It's not easy. That's the thing. And people want easy. That's the problem.
Yeah, people always want the magic pill, the magic person that's going to do it all, and it's like you've already found them. It's you. People like you, or even people who talk to me and I help them with stuff. It's like, no, we're just helping you, but you're the one that has to do the work. They just haven't been exposed to the tools, or they have been exposed to the tools maybe in a different way that didn't resonate with them or something like that. But it's like, you've already found it. It's all inside of you. And then with that desire, you attract people like yourself. You attract Christine into your life, and then she helps you get those things. But it really is us. And I think people don't realize it enough that it's really us who are creating. We're the ones that we've been looking for. You're searching and searching, and you're always searching outside, but so few of us really go inside.
Well, and it's
definitely have.
And it's taking the time to do it. I mean, even just to sit quietly. People are, but I can't, I don't have time to sit quietly. It's like, meditate. I don't have time for that. It's like, they don't realize the tremendous benefits that you'll get when you do take that time to go within.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It'll change your life. But once you get into it regularly, even I've read that even if you've got that monkey mind and that chatter going on in your head when you're meditating, you're still getting so much benefit. It's not like you had to sit there and try to clear everything out. I mean, obviously, the more you can clear out, the more that can come through. And that's when divine sparks come and inspiration and, this is,
and that's
that's been bugging me.
I still have a long way to go with getting that monkey chatter out of my head when I meditate.
Oh, me too. And I've been doing it for well over 20, 25 years. And I still get that monkey chatter big time too. And it depends on my frame of mind too. And I do find it better if I have instrumental music in the background, because that helps kind of clear out some of that clutter. So whatever works for you, I think what works for you. Some people, they use the mala beads. Like there's no one right way to do it, right?
No. And that's what I love about the program that I've been in, is when people ask questions about doing something the right way, they're like, don't worry, you can't get it wrong. Yeah. Whatever you do, it's fine. It's like, even working with clients, they're like, whatever you do with a client, they're going to benefit. So don't worry if you miss a question or something, it doesn't go exactly as you thought it would do. You're okay. You're going to help somebody. You're going to help yourself. And that's what I love about this. Everything with business was always like, you got to do it this way. You have to do it that way. And so now I'm in this new world of it's okay.
The gray. You're in
And
the gray zone.
And for me to be okay with that, wow, that I'd be like, no, I can't. No, I need to do step 1, step 2, and no, I'm much better.
And I think on this journey we skip around too. It's like, oh, I think I'm gonna go here and here, and then and maybe I need to go back to this, because then you're like, oh, I haven't meditated in a while. Now you have to go back to that, or I haven't done this thing that I used to do in a while. So sometimes we do. I find myself, I get off track sometimes too. Like my new thing now was, since I moved to Pennsylvania, I really haven't done yoga, and I was really at least once a week I would go to a yoga class or something, once or twice. At one point I think I was going like 2-3 times a week, and since I've been here, it's like I just haven't done it. And I finally, okay, in my head, I just have to do it at least once a day, even if it's like 15-20 minutes. And I'm finally starting to get back into that practice, because I fell out of it too. Just different environment. I couldn't find somewhere really close for me to go to that was convenient, so I just had to make up my mind to do it here. And that was out of my comfort zone. I liked going to a class. I liked being in that environment, because it's just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it was so good for me. So now doing it here at home, I'm like, okay, but I've been sticking with it.
Well, it's the old thing. Well, that worked so well, I think I'll stop.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, no, you can't stop. Or maybe for whatever reason you stop for a while, but then you realize something's missing, and you're like, oh, I really, I want to get back into that. So it's funny how things come around in our lives that we let go of and then come back because we need it. If we didn't need it anymore, I do believe that it wouldn't come back.
So yes, I like, this whole new world for me.
It's so exciting.
I'm growing. I've been told that what we're doing is we're growing our neurology, and it just sounds so impressive. It's like, I'm growing my neurology. Okay.
I haven't heard that before. I like it.
I was like, at least say to my kids, hey, even mom's still growing, it's like,
hey, we never stop learning, right? As a people, we never stop learning, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah, I have always loved learning. That's why I love every moment of well, I shouldn't say every moment. Okay. So I've loved working with different clients over the years of always learning something new. When I was back in high school, I could care less about the classes, it's like, okay, you got to do it and everything. But ever since then, I have just loved learning new things.
Because you're learning it on your terms. Think about it. We send our kids to school and they're learning it. It's someone else's education plan, someone else's propaganda, someone else's process, and it's all thrown into you. And a lot of times I think that's why we resist, especially in high school. As we get older, we're like, what is this? And then it was so funny. I used to really hate history when I was in high school. And maybe it was because I knew they were maybe teaching a false version of history or not so true, whatever. But now I'm like, oh my God, like I love getting into history. But I also get into the history that I love to look at, like ancient history and all this other stuff. But it is so funny because I agree. Like high school, you couldn't pay me to go back there. Like, you could not pay me to go out there. I have this event coming up, and they're like, oh, it's like an 80s themed get together like thing the night before, and I'm like, 80s, like, oh. Like 80s. That was like my teenage high school years. Like, I don't want to go back there. I'm like, I'm boycotting that. I'm not dressing up. I'm just wearing whatever I'm wearing. I don't want to be reminded of those the 80s.
Yeah. But they're too, like both of us as business owners, a friend of mine has brought this up in numerous conversations about, do you really need a business coach? Do you really need a coach? Because she's getting to near the end of somebody that she's working with. And a lot of times the people that are not business owners don't get it, why you need to have somebody to help you. Well, because you can't figure it all out for yourself.
Yeah.
But with any type of learning, not even just in business. I mean, how many life coaches are there? And you got your
Oh my gosh,
fitness
yeah.
coaches and whatnot. Why should the human body be able to just know what to do? Why shouldn't you need a coach? Why shouldn't you need to learn from somebody?
And
that
trying
you
to
don't
figure
know.
it trying to figure it out all on our own, that's like daunting. It's frustrating. It's a struggle. And if you know someone who's been there and done that, even if you just take a course or you listen to someone, you take out the pieces that resonate with you and you leave the rest behind. But why spend the time trying to figure? And even with my website design business, I have so many people that come to me and they're like, I have spent hours into this website and blah blah blah, and I'm like, why? And I always say my thing is, do you plan on becoming a website designer? Well, no. Then why are you doing it? So sometimes we learn all these things and go through all this frustration to be like, no, that's not it. I'm not going to be like, then I'll show you what you need to know and I will help you.
Well, and it's all because of that wonderful machine called Google. You know, you can figure it all out because of Google, you know, and that's why I love a lot of times people come to me when they've really duct taped their business together.
I love that term. I just duct tape this.
Well, thinking, you know, you start out and say, okay, I'm going to bring in this piece and now I'm going to do that with you. And before you know it, you know, a year or two goes by and it's like, oh, Jesus, what do I got here? It's like
a hot mess.
It's not working too well. Because I mean, I can't help myself. As much as I'm into, you know, like really digging deep into myself now and my thoughts and my feelings and everything, I'm still into details. As I talk to people and they tell me something that they're doing, and I'm like, why are you doing it that way when you could be doing it this way? It'd be easier, you know.
It's like you have this innate ability to find the most efficient route to do something.
Yeah. And it's like, and I think it was I was watching one of your past episodes with your coach, and she was talking about not needing to learn a new marketing concept, not needing something new. And that's something I've been talking about, you know, for a while now, is that I feel if you've been in business for a few years, because I know personally, you've probably, you know, spent enough time and money learning from coaches and had programs that you have what you need. You just need help in sorting it out and actually moving forward with what you already have.
And doing what you did, like you said, where you had 5 feet of it on your wall, all these resources that you've already paid for.
Yes.
And then I think there's also that point where you're like, okay, do I need to pay for the resource to do it myself, or do I just need to hire someone to do it? And that obviously that's going to be different for everybody. But I think that that's a good question to ask yourself. Do I really need a course to learn how to do this? And sometimes the answer is yes. And then, or do I just want to hire someone and do the thing for me? And sometimes that's yes too.
I've heard a lot over the years. I'm going to say a lot from people that, well, I have to figure it out myself first, and then I'll get some help. And I'm thinking, why? Yes, you need to understand how to do these different things in your business, but why should you be wasting your time trying to figure it out when somebody else could come in and put all the things together that you need, get you going, and then walk you through it? You know, give you the steps to doing it, and then you'll know how to do it. And when it comes to websites, I'm a firm believer of understanding the back end of your website, because I've heard too many horror stories that people don't know. And well, that's a whole other episode.
I get it.
But yeah, you know, you really have to ask yourself, well, how much time do you really have?
Yeah. And what's the level that I really need to know? Because like you said, I don't think you should just be having everybody. I don't think what we're saying here is that, well, just have other people running your business. It's like, well, no, that's not what we're saying. But it's like, at what level do you want to waste your time? I don't want to say waste. At what level do you want to spend your time and energy into the thing? You know, if you want to do, like you said, get your stuff in order and then have somebody explain it to you. How much time did that probably save you that you could have focused on another client or even taken on another client because you're freeing up all of this time. What do they call it? Leaving money at the leaving money on the table, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you're leaving money on the table because you're doing all these tasks that maybe aren't as productive or even as fun for you. I look at some of the things that like need to be done, and do I know how to do them? Like, yeah, but do I like doing them? No, I really don't.
Well, but I see a problem though too in those things that people say, but I really like to do it. That's the fun part. Well, great, it's fun, but should you be doing it? If you're good at, delivering your service, shouldn't you be doing more of that to make more money? Yeah. So even if it is fun, it's like, you got to ask yourself, should you be doing it? It's
yeah. And I think that's like we all spread ourselves so thin because we have so many different aspects, and then we take on so many different things. And then what is it like? You can't be a jack of all trades and master of none. So it's like, which ones do you want to master? Often people come to me, and I'm not a social media expert at all, but because I do website design, people often ask me, oh, which social media do you think I'm going on? And I always say, like, the one that you're going to stick with. If you don't enjoy being on these other platforms and you're not going to be consistent, the ones that you enjoy being on, if you want to do it. And I think that that's reasonable. I always think that, and I'm sure you've seen it much more than I have, is that so often we set ourselves up for failure with these expectations that we put on ourselves that we truly can never fulfill.
Yeah. That's the sad part. And where do the expectations come from though? Is, you've been in programs, seen other people and people touting what they're doing, but you don't know the whole story.
People's Facebook life or Instagram life is not always what's the real deal going on behind the scenes. And I think sometimes we forget that. And I think some of these people that we want to be like, or that we aspire to be like, they've often got a whole team behind them. And how much of it are they really doing themselves too? So like you just said, I think there's so much that we're not seeing, but yet we set these expectations for ourselves that really just aren't attainable. And it's just too much. And how much burnt out do you want to be? What is that saying? Like, I wanted to go into business for myself because I love what I did. It's like, we don't want to create a job for ourselves. Still want to get back to the fundamental core of, well, why did I start this business to begin with? And it sounds like for you were looking, you saw a missing piece that your clients, because obviously, if we want to help people with like adding mindset to your services that you offer with your business, well, then I need to figure out the mindset piece for myself first. And now I can sit here and offer it, because we've got to heal ourselves of those things or learn them ourselves before we can kind of teach them to others.
Yeah. And that's I never really looked at that in my own business. Like I said, it was always just on the surface level. And it's fun. In a previous presentation of mine, I touched on my things you needed in your business to be successful. And I touched on the mindset piece, meaning you have to have a business owner mindset, meaning if you work from home, don't do the laundry, or you might have to get some help with tasks around the house, like cooking dinner at night, you would see if somebody can help you cook. And and now that I've been through the training I've been through, and it's like, oh yeah, that doesn't wash anymore. It's like, it goes so much deeper than that to have the right mindset.
Sometimes that's where people are at, like maybe some people, they're still there and they're not ready to dive deeper, but it sounds like the type of people that you're trying to attract now or are attracting right now, these are the people that want to go that step below just, the other things that sort of like high level stuff that any business owner can benefit from.
Well, that and the coaching that I have learned can help people that are at that surface level of, I want to have that mindset, but I don't know how to get there. It's like I try to stop doing laundry, but I can't. So with the coaching and the therapy modalities that I have, including hypnotherapy, I can help people move away from that and get into that right mindset. And that's why I say mindset. Like, I'm not even sure if mindset is the right term. because mindset to me sounds so much on the surface level, whereas what I'm doing is really going deeper.
It is. It is. It's kind of like that. Tell them what they want to hear and give them what they need.
Right. Yeah.
Because people often don't know that they need, but they're coming to you because they know that, like yourself, they know that something's missing. Yes, I know I should be doing this thing, and why aren't I? Well, there's things behind that. It's just not a matter of like, oh, well, today I'm not going to do that anymore. I think we've all tried that.
You hear all the time, people are like, yes, I know what I should be doing. I hear all the time from people. So what's holding you up? If you know that you're supposed to be doing that.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's a much more deeper level than this surface mindset. It could be emotions, like you said, traumas. It could be, who knows what's stuck inside of us. But until you start to look and get in a place where you actually have the time to look, to see what comes up, work with someone, it's gonna stay there.
Yeah. Well, and as I have learned too, and there's a book that I'm reading, A Happy Pocket Full of Money, and that along with an Eckhart Tolle book about now, both of them fascinating. But I forget which one it was, is talking about the negativity and how to release it. And I was like, this has been my problem all these years, because I have a negative husband. So when you are in that negative environment, what are you supposed to do? And it's like, no, I'm taking my environment back, and it's going to be positive.
Yeah.
It
is so true. It's like, what do they say, that the top 5 or people that you surround yourself with, you're more likely to become like them. Yeah. So sometimes we have to take ourselves out of the situations, whether it's physically or mentally or whatever, however that looks like for you, so that we don't, because it is like we said, we wear our emotions. Not only do we wear our emotions on our sleeves, we wear our actions and our beliefs and our values and all those other things. Like, we wear it all out, whether we realize that people see it or not. People do, and it's like, I think that's why like minds like kind of flock together. You're attracted to people with that are like-minded. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the people that you're not attracted to, whether in friendships or business or whatever. It's just that there's nothing in common there. It's like, yeah, you're doing your thing over there. Hey, that's cool. But I'm going to do my thing over here with these like-minded people.
Yeah. Well, as you're saying that, what comes to mind too, this thought of our vibration, and that's another piece of what I'm learning about. Raising your vibration. It's like, does what you want vibrate there? And I'm constantly looking. Yeah, no, okay, time to raise my vibration. It's like even going to in-person meetings or hopping on a Zoom. It's like, all right, let's raise the vibration here before I walk in the door.
Exactly. And then even getting deeper, working with you, it's like, well, let's identify what's holding you back from getting to that vibration. Because it's not just like, oh, let's just get to this vibration. It's like, well, something's holding me back, that I'm struggling getting there. And I think that's the piece that ultimately you're helping business owners especially uncover, and friends. And then it like spills over into your friends and family, because you just can't help but share this stuff.
Well, that, and what we've learned, I don't think I shared this piece with, is if you have a challenge in your life, a person, and you clean things up, they'll either go away somehow, or they'll change, or they won't change and it doesn't bother you anymore. And the whole thing is that you work on yourself, and it does change everybody around you. And it's the goal of the people I'm training under. They're happy to have anybody train with them, even if they're not going to use it to work with other people, because just in changing ourselves, we're going to affect everybody around us also.
That ripple effect.
Yeah.
And it's such a more positive outlook when you can look at that and say, okay, I'm done hoping that X person, my boss will change, my spouse will change, my kids will change. Because it's like, the thing is that it's up to them whether or not they want to change, and we have no control over that. But what we do have control over is changing. And like you said, as we change, you notice so many things, and you attract different things into your life as if you're in a mindset, and it's often a cycle. Like a lot of times you're in these cycles, whether it's, I don't know, doing whatever, like dating is like a good thing. You keep attracting the wrong guy, right? And whatever it is, you got to do something to break that cycle. So until you break the cycle, you're just going to kind of keep doing it on autopilot. And that's like almost all of these things that we're talking about. I hate the word it's like a disruption. It's like, here you are coming along. Oh yeah, I'm in my cycle. Oh yeah, I'm done with that guy. Oh, let's track the new guy. And just using this as an example. Oh, he's the same. Oh, how wonderful. Finally, you get to the point you're like, enough.
Yes, well, and that's the thing. You have to look really, even the different areas of your life, and does that
finance,
concept show up in other areas? And then you're like, oh yeah, wow, I didn't realize there's a piece of that showing up in this area of my life.
And it happens in other things too. It's like you have like I know, like you have these relationships with your parents, and then you like attract these relationships or things in your life that are like, oh, I got that from my mom. I got to stop that cycle. I've noticed I did that. Like I would say that my first marriage, I totally married my mom, who I had a very relationship with. But it was like, oh dang. So it's like, it's almost like it's showing up because that's what you need. It's telling you this is what you need to heal. And until you heal this, you're just going to keep being shown the same thing over again. Whatever this emotion was, whatever this thing was, it's going to keep showing up until you take the time to stop. And like you said, take the time to stop, because you're not going to do it in the chaos. And then once you take the time to heal that thing, you'll notice something different is being attracted into your life. And then, you know what? Along comes the next thing you got to work on. It never ends.
And yeah, exactly. It's not a done thing, to work on one piece. And even there too, when you're releasing, bad emotions and what, it's not saying that emotion is never going to come up again, but you're going to be able to get through it a lot faster. Once you start doing this type of work, it really helps you to understand how to get through your emotions faster.
It heightens your awareness of things. So the next time it comes up, like you're running along, just like doing your thing, you don't even realize these things. And once it's brought to your awareness, you can't be unaware of it. You know what I mean? But a lot of times we are running on that autopilot. So these things that are stuck, or these things we need to heal, they just keep coming and we're just oblivious to them. But the moment we become aware of it, that awareness doesn't go away. So we can either choose to ignore it or deal with it and heal it and move on. So I think the awareness part, I love looking at things that way, because it's so true. Once it's in your awareness, it cannot become unaware. So sometimes I'm like, oh, was it good or bad living in oblivion? I just don't know.
Well, that's, just emotions alone. We all, when we have these group sessions, or you're doing a one-on-one, it's like we have to have our emotion wheel in front of us. Even people that have been in the program a couple of years, it's like, so when you had that thought, what were you feeling? And it's like, oh wait, because most people are mad, sad, glad, happy, but there's so many nuances to those. And when you can start getting into those, it's like, oh, that's really what I was feeling. Wow. That's powerful.
It's like the symptom. It's like that treating the symptom and not the root cause. But once hopefully once you treat enough symptoms, you get down to the root there.
Right. Yeah, you do. And like I say, it gets easier each time, but
like anything else, it's practice. It is sort of a practice, because you're practicing doing all these things, practicing, identifying, practicing, even just the noticing part, I noticed that. Like you have to train yourself to notice these things, and stop. And I might have mentioned this story before, but I went to this networking event one time, and this was quite a while ago, and someone had triggered me, and I'm like driving home, and it was like a half hour, 45-minute drive. I'd gone quite a bit of a ways. I'm like, why did this person trigger me? And by the time I had gotten home, I totally analyzed and realized the whole thing on why it triggered. And by the time I got home, I was like, yeah, it didn't even bother me anymore. Awesome. But it didn't just happen overnight for me to get there. to do that. And I think that's why it is a practice and it's not perfection. I know they say that a lot about yoga, that it's a practice. There's never, perfection. You're always uncovering a different, what is it? New level, new devil. So you're constantly peeling the proverbial onion down, but
I love that aspect of it. Yeah, being able to work through it yourself and coming to that realization of what really is going on. It's like, oh, that's what's really happening. Okay, I can.
And how wonderful that you're helping business owners, small, and you primarily work with small business owners and entrepreneurs. And us small business owners and entrepreneurs, we're really the ones that need it too. And often we're the most out there on the island, I should say. We often have pretty small support teams, if any at all. Me, I've been a solopreneur for forever. So I know what it's like there to be out on the island. So seeking out Christine's help can really help up level your own business and your mindset and your life and all of the things. It's like once it starts to bloom and it's like contagious.
I have lots of ideas, and it's like, I'm a little bit of a MacGyver and a little bit of Tim Toolman Taylor when I work with people. I make things
because no two people are the same. Right? I mean, no two people are the same. Sort of the underlying things is you can say, well, it's a stuck emotion, it's a this, it's a that. But how we get there and how we release them can somewhat be individual. So how do people work with you now that you've told all of us small business owners and entrepreneurs the magic, not one pill magic, but the magic that you can help people uncover and give them what they tell them what they need, or tell them what they want, give them what they need, kind of thing. So for these people that are feeling stuck and want to get to that next level, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can go to my website, christinerothdeutsch.com, and I know they'll be like, what? If you separate Roth and Deutsch, it makes sense. christinerothdeutsch.com.
Okay.
They can go there, can find me on Facebook at Implementing Your Vision, also on LinkedIn under Christine Rothdeutsch. And, I have some resources on my website. I even have an assessment if somebody is just, in chaos, and this is a little assessment to overcome the overwhelm and get some tips. 10 questions, you answer them, you get some tips on where you might need to make some adjustments to get out of that overwhelm, plus a few other resources on the website. But they can also book a call with me, and let's see if they're a good fit, if they're open enough to change.
Well, my feeling is that if they're reaching out, then they are open. And don't worry if you missed any of that, because everything will be in the description on whatever platform that you are watching this. Well, what other parting words of wisdom for us entrepreneurs and solo entrepreneurs and small business owners, what can you leave us with in regards to this mindset and this new journey that you're on, and that you're bringing other people along with you, right? Because we want everybody to rise with us. That's how I look at it.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, with the people that I'm learning from, they hold their master classes every few months. So I'm always promoting their master class. So if people just want to learn themselves what it's all about, and you learn so much that you can even take what you learn and incorporate it in your business too. But all this work that I'm doing now, like I say, it's good for everybody, and really any business can incorporate some aspect of this mindset work. I think every business owner should incorporate something like this in their business to truly help their clients. Because I view it as a missing piece, for every business. Even when you're working with clients, Michelle, to build a website and maybe things aren't going as smoothly, it's like, what's going on? And that's the thing with NLP, has gotten a bad rap of people learning NLP and using it against you.
Oh, I have not heard that. Oh my goodness.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
No.
It's how to, learning about NLP and how the mind works. So I'm going to choose the words to get you to say yes. And it's used in advertising and things like that. But all of this work is truly just to make everyone more profitable, make the world a better place. And everybody has their business to do better with people, to help people. Well, don't you want to be able to just raise that level up? And if you're still just working on the conscious level, that's a slow road. You need to go deep into the unconscious level to really truly make that difference. And honestly, Michelle, my coach, at the moment, I'm coming to the end with her, has stated numerous times she's amazed we've known each other numerous years. She's seen me through several stages, and this year she's like, oh my gosh, I really see a difference. So it's not just me saying it, but it's true. And it's what can really make a difference.
Yeah.
And if it's not this NLP stuff, there's other, aspects of mindset work. But
whatever resonates. And like, I think, as you mentioned, you can tailor it to the client. Everybody has their own individual needs, but I love what you said, because I think when we raise our mindset, we raise our consciousness, whether we realize it or not, we are raising our consciousness in this world. And my belief is that we've already surpassed critical mass. So let's really go to the next level.
Yes.
And if you are looking to do that, I urge you to reach out with Christine. As I said, everything will be in the description on my podcast. And until next time, Christine, I thank you so much for taking the time out to spend and share all this information that I think we all need. Like you said, whether we're a business owner or we're an employee or we're a stay-at-home mom, like, I don't think it matters. Like, we can all use this information in our lives. Yes. So I thank you very much. And until next time, this is Michelle from The Wealth Within Us.